Howdy, I'm John Holmes, and today we have another episode of the Holmes Hobby House. As I described in the last video, we just needed to put our header in fully and essentially jack it up and raise the roof up a little bit. So as we did this past weekend, we got this side jacked up first. If you remember from the last video, we had a basic 2x4 up on the wall that was just keeping it in. We slid it into that pocket, screwed in a couple 3-inch screws to pull the header over to the wall. And then what we did is we came in, we jacked it up all the way, as about 3/4 inches left, then put in our king studs. After we got that done, we moved over to this side. And this side had a lot more weight on it. If you can recall from the last video, there was more sagging on this side of our ceiling and roof than there was on that side. So essentially the entire thing got jacked up on this side with a little bottle jack. And we pulled it up most of the way, and then we had to put in some new supports. We had a couple of safety beams that ran across just in case it fell. And just inch by inch, we slowly worked it up. Once we got it all the way in place, we popped in our king studs and then sandwiched everything in together. Now, what I would like to do is to go back and put some lag screws through, make sure everything is really pulled in tight on both sides. So we'll have lag screws on that side, kind of sistering in our king studs, and then we'll have lag screws on this side, just kind of keeping everything together. Once we get that done, we'll be ready to finish the ceiling. But before we do that, we need to screw in our ceiling joists, I think they're called, or ceiling hangers. I don't know what they are. Again, I'm not a construction guy. I've never worked a construction job in my life, but I'm trying to pick up on the terms. At any rate, our ceiling joists, we need to screw those in, and kind of made a bush league move. I forgot to mark all of those before we put the header up. And so I'm gonna have to cut out just a little bit so that I can see. Now I could cheat and go off of the screws that are kind of popping out of our ceiling, and we'll pretty much know where they are and where to screw in, but I want to do a little bit better job than guessing based on screws that may not actually be screwed in on center. So we'll cut out maybe an inch or so, just enough to kind of cheat and see where all of those joists lay, and then I can throw up some crown molding or something to hide that so we don't have to redo all the drywall on the ceiling. We may end up redoing the drywall anyway, but in the meantime, if we can try to save some labor, I'll definitely try to save some labor. So get this screwed into the joists up there, and the next step is going to be going down to the floor. We're probably going to go the easy route on the floor again, since this house is probably not going to last a decade. We will take another header, or whatever they're called when they're underneath the floor. We'll sister it into the existing one and jack that one up. We'll probably have to dig ourselves up here, right in the center, and then use that to jack up the rest of the floor on. But you may be able to see in video, but it's a pretty steep slope that comes out to here. When we move away from the edge of our walls, we actually find that the ceiling to floor height changes about 6 inches out, and it's already 2 inches down on the floor. And out here, it's 4, 5, maybe 6 inches now of sag compared to the edges. It's pretty extreme. So we definitely want to fix that. The easiest way is going to be lifting the floor from the center. Now, we're not going to really be able to go beyond just lifting the floor up, because this entire room is catty corner. Where my cameraman is standing over there and where the opposite corner of the room is, they're not level. It's like 4 inches off in that direction, and we've got another 3 or 2 inch drop in this direction of the room. So we're not going to try to fix it perfectly by any means, but we are going to make it to where when you walk in, you don't feel like you're falling into the room, which that'll make it a little nicer, at least in my opinion. I don't want to be walking around on a floor that's constantly just bowing. If I'm playing a game of marbles in here, I don't want to have that sweet spot in the center where you have to play. I want to play marbles over there, maybe. That's my goal, at least. So not a whole lot of updates today for the house, but we will be getting to the floor next and finishing out some other parts of the house so we can start using it. And I am pretty excited for that. So if you have any questions about the house and want to see future episodes, please subscribe and put your comments below for us. And we will see you on the flip side. Have a good day. Thanks for tuning in.